Hi everyone, Happy New Year and welcome to the Knitting Den. This is episode number 176 and today is Sunday, January 3rd. I had to think there. And it's 2016. This is the first episode of 2016 and I hope it's going to be one of many because I want to get back into a regular weekly podcast so I can sit down with you guys and chat and get back to a lot more knitting. I really have missed you all. Anyway, for new viewers, I am Denise, also known as Knitting Den on Ravelry and Instagram, and you can find me on Facebook as well, but I'm never sure of the URL for that, so I'll put it in the notes below if you want to check out my Facebook page and friend me. And welcome if you're watching for the first time. I appreciate you checking out the video, the podcast. I think I'm going to be a little rusty today, but we'll just, we'll get through it. It's not going to be as normal as it used to be, if it was ever normal, but I've got just a few topics to chat about, not a ton of notes. And what I thought I would do is, and I'm looking over here because I've got a pile, I've got all of my projects here, I think most of them. And what I decided to do was frog a lot of things and start the new year off as fresh as I could. I had hoped to record the last day, like December 31st or even January 1st, but obviously that's not happened. So we'll do it now, and what I'm going to do is just grab something that I can, and I'll talk about it once I've opened it up. Sometimes I don't even know what's in it. Before I do go on, you'll see I'm in a different room. This is my old crafting room. It's going to be a guest room, so I'm working on that. And because it's Sunday, I decided I would come down here and record because, hubby and Kiki is upstairs with the dogs. I think I'm going to plan, I think it would be better if I record on a weekday, so I think I'm going to think a lot. I'm going to do a Monday recording, and that will give me Sunday to write out notes and think about what we're going to chat about. But for now, this is a Sunday, so I've moved myself away. Obviously I wouldn't sit on the sofa and chat like this when they're walking around. All right, so I'm going to grab a bag, and inside we'll see whether or not it's a frog or not a frog. This is not a frog, not something I'm looking forward to knitting either though, and I haven't touched it since, and it's a mess, and it's my Waldoor sweater that I was going to start for a friend. And the reason it's a mess is because it's on waste yarn, because I wanted to see if it was going to look big enough, and I wanted to stretch it, and I think it is. It's quite a wide sweater for a big guy. So I need to get that back on the needles and then consider picking it up a little bit every week, because I think there's only going to be some increasing, and it's plain knitting in the round really. So that is not getting frogged. I wish I could. I don't know. I keep considering asking my friend or telling my friend it's just something I'm not going to be able to get to do for the next few months, because I don't know, I wish I hadn't taken it on, because knitting when you have to obviously takes the fun out of it, and I've got stuff I want to finish off, and I've got lots and lots of new fun stuff I would love to get on the needles, but we'll see. I'm undecided. This is sitting in and it's jumping all over the place, my Rainstorm Studios bag, which I love, my coffee one. I love the embroidery. And Christine has Rainstorm Studios on Etsy. She does awesome bags. And before I forget, she and Jennifer, who is Daisy Knits on Etsy, they have teamed up and are making a sock bunny kit for anyone that wants one in the or at the Sock Bunny retreat. So yes, I am going to Florida again next month to attend the 3rd annual Sock Bunny Knit and Fit retreat. I can't wait. And I think there's quite a few more girls going this year, and I think we might even be up to 19. So I'm so looking forward to meeting everyone or seeing everyone again. And I'll maybe mention that again, in the next couple of weeks. All right, so not frogging that just yet. This is another one. I know there's not a frog in here. This is not going to be frogged. It has got to get finished. I've put too much work into it, but I haven't picked it up in months and months and months. And it's this one. Now, I did bring the pattern to show you. And look, it's a big bundled up mess, isn't it? That's because I've got a lot of panels done. This is a sweater. And actually, I've only got three. 3 panels done, one with the lace. I'm onto the 4th panel, and then I would need to do 2 sleeves. I'll show you the pattern in a second, and the yarn, Folio, Barocco Folio, in a gorgeous, it's a little brighter than you're seeing it, but it is a nice, oh gosh, I don't even know how to describe that. What's it, has it got a colour? Usually it has a colour on here. Could have sworn it had a colour. Doesn't say. So number 5909, whatever. That is what I'm knitting, and because it's so hard to see with it all being scrunched up mess, it is from this booklet from Barocco Folio with all of all patterns in from Folio. It's dropping to pieces now too because the staples are coming out, but it is this lovely sweater, and as I've got panels, so this is a separate panel, and then this is, and I've got another plain one for the back, and I'm doing the 4th one, which is the back panel, and 2 sleeves. So it cannot be frogged. I've put too much, I'm not going to frog garments. It's this big. It's just be sad to do so. So I need to make an effort to just finish it and not frog it. So that's that one. Now, something in this one I know is a frog. I did decide, it was hard deciding, and I've got bindi hair all over the place. And when I get to recording back upstairs, she obviously will be hanging out, and you'll see her. It kind of feels quiet not having them run around while I'm chatting to you guys. This, I've already taken it off the needles, but I need to, yeah, oh my gosh. It really is that bright, really. Excuse me. And I thought I would wear it as a shawl, but I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I would wear this brighter yellow. So I've frogged it. I need to obviously rewind it up, and it had beads in it, so I need to take these off. You can see them there. The pattern was, didn't have it written down. It's by Boo Knits. It's she's got some gorgeous lace shawls on her Ravelry, designer page, and I really wanted to knit one, but I think I'm going to just, if I do knit one, I'm going to, yes, I've got to adjust my hair. If I do knit one, I'm going to use lace yarn. If I'm going to knit any kind of lace shawl, I think I want to use lace yarn. Shawlettes, maybe, that it can act as a scarf as well, probably fingering, but I think it might be called quite continental, the one I picked, the shawl I picked. The yarn is, and I've got it in the bag, even though it's going to be coming out of the bag. I must wind this on and keep the label. It's by Leading Men Fibre Arts, and that is Steve, who has the Dramatic Knits podcast with Callie, and I have not watched people's podcasts in forever. My life took a busy turn after I got back home from England last July, so I need to get back into watching everybody's podcasts as well, because I really do miss doing that. I did get this, it's called Angel Hair, the colourway. And I got this at the retreat in Florida, Sock Bunny's retreat last year. it might have even been the year before actually, it might have been the first year. And I think I actually ended up swapping with Jennifer. Didn't win this one as a door prize, but whatever we won, I think she gave me this and I gave her my prize. And I'm now thinking, excuse me, if I wind this up, I think I'm going to do a centre pull ball and work from the outside and the inside and double it up and maybe just use it for toys. I just can't see myself wear, or socks, maybe I'll just do some really bright socks. I just can't see it being a shawl now when it's coming out that bright. This bag, which I love, the fabric on here and the colours, is by Twist Fibre Studio. Twist Fibre Studio, and that was a new business, and I can't remember her name, but I did buy a kit. I bought yarn that matched this and I bought fibre that matched this beautiful bag, but they're in my stash somewhere. And let's see what's in this one. I know, sadly, I know there's a frog in here. Sounds funny, doesn't it? But you want to pull out a frog. I did take off the needles my ribbons and lace shawl. I'm kind of sad to do this, but I just can't bring myself to pick it up and knit. So I would rather use the yarn for something else, maybe something else during Pinktober, which is when I started this. And this was, you know, it might have been 3 years ago. So not doing anyone any good in my bag. And the pattern was the Ribbons and Lace Shawl, I think. I always call it that, by Kimberly Gintar. And I've only got a little black and white picture here that I'd stuck in my bag with all the, you know, counting on it. So unfortunately, I made the executive decision to scrap that. And maybe I'll pick a project and ready for when I want to use the yarn, or it'll just again go in my stash until I'm ready to pick a project. All right, here's a shocker. I have decided, it's not even in a bag. What a mess over here. I've decided to frog and I totally forgot the name. You remember the sleeveless bolero, shrug, whatever you call it. It's like a big long tube. And it was nearly finished. I've got yarn everywhere. It was nearly finished. In fact, it was finished, and then I messed up because when I started stitching it, I realised that one sleeve was so much shorter than the other from the cuff to where you had to stitch. So I then started trying to unpick the sleeve so I could knit it longer. The problem was I started unpicking the wrong sleeve. I was trying to unpick the end that I had just cast off. I finally got that sorted. I've unpicked it, but I'm not going to pick it back up and finish off the sleeve because it is super, super tight. If I show you, let me see, I'll put this side on. So I just think, I mean, it's not so much the sleeve, it's when I pull this around, if I can grab it, when I pull this round to put the sleeve in here to get my other arm in, which I'm not going to bother doing, that's where it's tight. And that makes it tight when this goes under my arm. So I'm going to unfrog it. I'm going to frog it. I'm going to unpick it. I'm going to frog it. I'm going to wind the yarn back on, and I am going to knit it again because I really do want, I think this will be fabulous, sparkly, and great for, you know, when I go out in the winter and the holiday season and I've got a little tank on, or a sparkly bling bling tank, and it's chilly, this would be perfect. I don't have the label, but the yarn is, it's just acrylic, and I'm not going to guess at the name now. I will find it, and it's something I bought while I was in England. I bought 2 balls of this, so I'm just going to get super organised, and I'm not going to kid myself that I will, you know, pick it up and try and figure it out. It was just getting a bit too confusing. So that's another frog. What else is a frog? This one, this is Suffolk Socks bag, and this was gifted to me last year when I was home in England as well. And I've got this one that you've seen before, which is another one of my favourites. And then I'm using this one, which is the very first bag I made for this design, and you know, I messed up the bottom, so I actually added a grey panel. So I'm using this as well. All of these English bags. Now, in here, I don't actually know what's in here. Seriously. Oh yes, I think I'm going to have to frog this as well. I haven't decided, but I think I'm going to have to. In here is a big ball of acrylic, and it was this shrug. After doing that silvery one, I was in the mood for shrugs, and I saw this and really liked it. It's Birds of a Feather shrug. And I thought it would be a really quick knit, you know, get it on the needles, and it's worsted weight yarn. You do a provisional cast on, and you basically, I'm just knitting across the back, and I'll end up at a certain point knitting the sleeves, you know, the motif there, which is birds, and then you'll decrease as you're coming down. So I've kind of, you start here in the middle of the back, and I'm going that way. But that was supposed to be a super quick knit, and of course it wasn't. It's been sat on the needles for months and months and months. So I'm going to take it off the needles, and now I realise why I can't find half of my needles in my boxes, because they've been on old projects for so long. So these are, no, are these not carbons? I think these are carbons, aren't they, like that? Knitter's Pride carbons, which I really like, and I don't even know what size I was using, 7, so there you go. If I'm ready to do a project with size 7, I'll know, I can find them now. So I will unpick that or frog the yarn later. In here, don't know what's in here either. This is my, this is a Kiki Boo bag with Spock, Star Trek's, well, Spock, rock, paper, scissors, Spock, lizard, or lizard Spock. And, oh, well, I need to decide what I'm going to do with this. Remember when I started doing crochet last year? I was such a newbie, and what I wanted to do was leftover sock yarn, but I didn't want to do a sock yarn blanket like a lot of you are doing, which is the knitted one with the mitered squares. I wanted to crochet something fast, but because I was such a newbie, it was ending up all warped. And that's as far as I got, and then I did get a little bit fed up, and I thought, oh, it's not neat enough, it's not, I don't know. I love how the colours are coming, and I didn't want it to be small squares and then have to sew them all up. I just wanted to go round and round and round. Now I'm undecided, because it's looking kind of so pretty there. Shall I keep going? I'm on to using some of my Knitting Den yarn that I had knit socks out of. If I keep going and I wash it, will the fact that it's all warped, because I think I'll be a little bit better at crocheting now, will this warpiness in the middle be a bit forgiving if it's a blanket? Or will it just look totally messed up? And should I frog it all now? You can let me know. Right now, because it's such a small little project, it's sitting in here. And I guess I can put my sleeve back on. Alright, what else have we got? Seriously, I'm going to be left with 1 or 2 projects on the needles, and I am going to try and be monogamous, or whatever the other word is for 2, and finish 2 projects. I know, oh no, I did bring it. 2 projects before I start casting on anything this year. Seriously. In this bag, don't know, I'm not going to frog anything. This is my gorgeous bag from Kay from Bakery Bears. This is the Bakery Bears cottage, and she gifted me this, was it last Christmas? I'm losing track of it, which year is which, or when I got what. This is where I start keeping my squares like Kay was doing for a log cabin blanket, but I decided to do them all cream for my bed, and I've only got 2 here that I did, and I started a 3rd one, but I did take it off the needles because I needed the needle. So again, I am just using, I love this yarn, which is acrylic from Hobby Lobby in cream colour, and I'm wondering, shall I keep working on a square? Maybe it's a square a month, because it is super easy knitting. Could set myself a goal of a square a month. I don't even know how many I would need for a blanket. 12 probably wouldn't be enough. I just don't know. I'm not frogging it, but I don't know if I should make the effort to pick it up and actually get a blanket done this year. Undecided. And one thing I know I'm not frogging, and this is going to be one of the first things I finish. Honestly, I vow down I'm going to get this finished. And it's in my big see-through Brainstorm Studios awesome bag. And it's so big, this bag, that I can actually carry my lace chart, pattern keeper. What did I just drop? I don't know. I think it might have been one of the magnets, the long ones. I'll have a look. That's in there, and because I'm keeping, I actually use this when I'm knitting. It was so much easier to see, and I could get a row done pretty fast. So most of you older viewers, and I don't have the picture in here though. Yes, I do. I just took it out. Was that it? No. Could have sworn I always had the picture in here, and it's not there. And this is my wrap shrug, no, not shrug, what, stole. I would call it a stole because it's not a, I'm going it the wrong way. It's not a diamond shaped shawl. So it's just a really long, it's going to be a long oblong shawl. I've got a ton to knit on this, but again, if I set myself a goal of what I should get done each week, then maybe I can work out when it should be finished by. And again, as I said, because I've kind of lost the pattern, I will, I'll find it, but I can't tell you what the pattern's called, but I can show you that I've still got, it takes 2 skeins of yarn, and this was a gift sent to me, and this is from Lion Arts. Oh, this is by Lion Arts, this yarn. Silky Sock, and it's 50/50 merino silk, light fingering, in a colourway called Moonlight. But it is quite a nice soft grey, if it looks grey to you. It's grey, and it's got different, very subtle hues of grey in it, and it looks very bright on the screen, but I think that's just because I've got the sunlight, a little bit of natural light coming in. So the reason that is kept in this big bag is so I can keep my lace pattern keeper, whatever you call it. Don't know what you would call that. In. And I think was this the 3rd year, guys? Or 2? No, it's 2 years. It was 2 Christmas Eves ago that I got this in the mail, and I started it on a Christmas day. So that has got to be finished because I don't want to unpick it. It's a gorgeous stole, and I think I would wear it a lot once it's done. So that is staying. What else have I got? Oh yes, this one. And this is getting frogged. I did very little with it, but I would like to get it on the needles pretty soon after I've finished some things, because I wanted to wear this as well. And I picked this up at the knitting retreat I went to last September, up in Buena Vista in Colorado, and I bought the pattern at the Salida Yarn Festival or Fibre Festival that day, and it came with this pattern. And the reason I bought it was because a woman at the retreat actually had it knit, and she passed it around for us all to see, and it was in this colour, and it was just gorgeous and soft. Now, the reason I'm frogging it, and I actually decided I would frog this even before, I just never got round to it, even before Christmas. I chose, and that is a completely different colour. That's like a bright, bright red, and this is more like a, oh, I want to call it a wine, but not burgundy, but a wine colour. Isn't that strange how you can't get it to, right? Does that, I mean, it's too far away for you to see, but do you see how it's not as bright? And then it gets like a bright, bright red. Oh gosh. Anyway, the reason, and this is lacy, so I'm going to be careful when I unpick it. The reason I wanted to frog this was because I want to go down a needle size, because I'm such a loose knitter, and once this gets stretched and blocked, I can barely see the pattern and the cable. It's just, it's not tight enough because it's got cables. That's a cable at the bottom there. It's hard to see on that. But here's the pattern, look. And I want to be able to distinguish the cables once it's blocked. And I think if I stretch that the way I've got it with this size needle, you're barely going to be able to see that. So this is coming off the needles. I'm considering putting it straight back on. And again, next time I will put the rest of the yarn. I'm going to try and keep everything together. Yeah, I know you've heard all of that before. All right, what's left? A couple of things to mention. Oh, there's something down here too. Hold on. Another thing that I decided I would not pull off the needles is, there's the pattern for the shrug. I've got stuff all over the place. What I wouldn't pull off the needles, because there's so much and I think it might not take as long to get finished, was this, and that's kind of the colour, limey green, and it's a top, and it's a lower down, as you can see, lower on one side than the other. And let me see if I did keep the pattern in here, and I think I did. This was with this yarn, and again Barocco, and it's called Linus. Did it have a colour on it? Tanager, as in manager, but with a T, Tanager. And this was the pattern. And I think if I, you know, get stuck into that, it should be some nice cute little tank that I could get off the needles ready for springtime or summer. So that's not getting frogged either. I do need to find a bag, and I think I'll probably, if I can reach it, I'll probably go in this bag, because it's like, you know, I like to sort of kind of match. So I'll put it in there for now. I'll take that other brown one out in a minute. And just odds and ends and scraps in here. Let's see. I think I'm going to frog these. I've got these in my little Bead Sisters bag. The little, this is for, you know, you can do 2 at a time socks, which I'm not doing, and I've only ever done once really. But this was just a sock project that I could take with me, and I'm going to frog it because I'm not even looking forward to doing the second one. The yarn was Crochet, I think. It's not even in there. I think I picked this up as some in the knitting retreat at Sock Bunny's knitting retreat last year too, in the box where everyone could help themselves to kind of scraps, but this was a new ball, and I did them super. I was just going to do a really, look, I've already started the heel, because I wanted to see if I could get a pair out of one ball. So I started the heel, and it's just a tiny little ankle sock, but it's coming off the needles because I'm using, and I don't know why I decided to get these. I bought a size, oops, sorry, 0. These are just Knitter's Pride Dreams, I think. And I bought 0, but to me it's just so tight. I'm just not enjoying knitting it. It's really hard on your hands. I thought this was super thin sock yarn, which is why I kind of started using these, but it's not really. Just normal. And let me get the ball because I dropped it. So this is going to be frogged, but as I said, it's in my cute Bead Sisters bag that again I was gifted, and we had one that was a giveaway in the podcast a few months back. So Kay, I'm hoping to see you, and I think your sister's going as well, at the retreat, so that'd be fabulous to meet. So there will be, I'll have to look for another, I do have one sock on the go as well, but actually I think I've got two on the go. That will be used for socks because it's fabulous little sock sack, as I want to call them. And I do have two other socks, I didn't bring them. They will get finished, they're not going to get frogged. So I'll show them next time. And finally, in this bag is my Nurmalind 2, and here we go with the hair sticking around the ears. And I want to, oh, here's the other sock. I know, it's just shoved, everything's shoved in different bags. This is nearly finished, so it's going to be probably my first FO of the year. This is Nurmalind 2, and I think all I've got to do is a garter stitch panel, you know, and I've started it, so that's just going to be garter stitch, and then one final lace edging, and that's it. And this is the third one I've knit. I've never knit a pattern so many times, to be honest, but it's such a quick and easy pattern, and it's really nice to wear, although I wouldn't know because I gifted the other two. This one probably I'll keep, and it's with Dream, if I can remember what it is, Smooshy, Dream Smooshy with cashmere, and it is so soft. So I'm concentrating on that. I haven't been knitting anything else in the past week, and as I said, I think if I record next, not Monday, not tomorrow, but the following Monday, I think that will be a finished object. And again, then I can swap because I have a little bag that's empty. I can swap and put in this bag, which I do want to finish, a pair of socks. I'll take them out because they're getting frogged. And I started knitting a pair of socks with my opal. Again, I picked this up at Salida's Yarn Fibre Festival up in Buena Vista last year. I've never had, that's the picture of it. I've never had opal, heard fabulous things about it. So I wanted to, I loved the colours in it. And that's quite true, the colours, nice and bright and just colourful. I love it. Makes me smile every time I look at it. So what I decided to do was on the Rose City Roller socks. It's a free pattern. I don't have it printed out because I think I was just using my iPad to follow the pattern. And again, trying to get the yarn untangled, getting an itchy nose now and getting hot. It's so tricky because for those, you know, if you've knit these, all it has is a round roll over top, and then you start the heel. So it's just really tricky to get, you know, show and get hold of. Again, once I've got the Nurmalind 2 finished, I can, or I should start doing a little bit of sock knitting every day. I still go to pick Kristen up from school, and I do get there early enough where I could spend a good 20 minutes or half an hour really knitting on socks. But I also use that time a lot of the time to read, and we'll get into that in a second. So I'm torn, you know. Maybe I'll read one day and I'll knit the next, or I'll do half and half. It's quite nice quiet time in my car, I must admit. Now, last thing is nothing to show, but I did want to mention. So for those that have tuned in before, remember I talked about my legacy for Kristen, which was going to be a shawl, a lace shawl that she might want to wear at her wedding. or it might be a christening shawl, who knows. And my goal was, or my intention was to cast this on November 25th last year, which was her 15th birthday. And I thought, if I did that, then I'll always know when I started this project. Well, I did have I've got needles in here. I did have a project picked out. I haven't printed it. And I did have the yarn. And it was this Sublime, just a really nice soft lace, extra fine merino wool. I think it's 100%. And I got 3 balls, and I think I had enough to do this pattern. It was some wedding shawl pattern. But I changed my mind, and all of a sudden I decided I was going to try the massive project, the Even Star shawl. So one day before her birthday, a week before her birthday, so I ran down to my local yarn store all excited and thought, oh, I'll get some lace yarn, because I didn't have enough with this. You know, I think you need like 1,700 or yards. But I thought I'll run down to the local yarn store and get some and cast it on in a few days and actually try to do this mammoth project, the Even Star. Well, long story short, she didn't have any cream yarn, lace yarn that I could buy. So I never got started, and I've just not got round to ordering any online. And I'm going to have to order some online if I want to do the Even Star, because she's my nearest yarn store, and I know she's not probably going to have any in for quite a while. It's hit and miss if she, you know, whether or not she'd have lace in. So I never got started on my legacy. And I don't know when I'm going to get started on my legacy, but I think I'm deciding on the Even Star. Hesitating there. All right, with that, guys, that is all of the projects I've got here. I do have another pair of socks, the Barocco sock yarn. One's finished, and I will get that one finished as well because it's super nice yarn. Book talk. As I mentioned, I tend to try and read when I go pick up Kristen, and I'm still reading, and I've just picked them all up. This is what's at my bedside table. Got to pick one and finish it. I'm reading a lot of what they call personal development, except for that one in the middle there. Do you see that? I'm reading a little bit from lots of different books, to be honest. I think I finished that one, The Compound Effect. And it's all to help me in my new venture, my new business with the Beachbody and fitness. There's a one about frogs, but that's not your frogging to do with knitting. That's all about eating the frog, which is your biggest task of the day. No matter what it is, you should get it done and out of the way. And then I was halfway through this Magic of Thinking Big. I have others lying around, and then I actually started reading this that I was gifted last year, and I know there's 2 in the series, but I have one in the car. I've got that Christmas one, Calling Mrs. Christmas. I haven't finished that one yet either. So I'm going to get that out of the car, and I'm going to read at night a little bit and get that finished. And then, of course, I have my neighbourhood book club that I'm in. We are reading a classic, Murder on the Orient Express, this month, and I thought, oh great, because I've never read it, and that will, you know, motivate me to read that one. Meetings next week, and I've not even found the book, picked it up, or bought it on my Kindle or anything. So I don't think that's going to get read. But so, it is what it is, and I'm not going to stress about that. You know, reading should be fun, knitting should be fun. So that's book talk. Usually, I used to have a section, as you know, called Girly Chatter, and I will try to get back to doing that. I seem to have more to talk about when I was trying and lots of different things. You know, if I like salads in a jar, and then I found something else crafty, and I would tell you whatever it was I was into. So I don't know where I'm going to fill that segment with, because what I'm into right now, as most of you know, is my fitness journey and the start of my business. for want of a better word. I mean, it is a business. It just sounds weird saying my business. But anyway, I'll think about that. Then I will have a section about fitness because for those interested at the end of the section, I'll give you an update on that. That keeps me accountable. I'll give you an update on what I'm working, what program I'm doing, and if I've done the workouts that week, and if I've stayed on plan with my eating. That would be just a little update on that. And then right at the end, I'm hoping to do some more sewing with the Kiki Boo bags. And maybe stitch markers as well. And excuse me because my nose is getting itchy. Again, got all these plans to do as much as I can, but we'll see how it goes. So at the end of the podcast, I might have a little section to show you what bags are going in the shop. I do have some that I want to get in the next day or two. It was the ones I showed previously, the new size sock sack. I finished them. They just need cord through it and pictures taken. So I might have something in the shop next week. I think with all of that said, that's all I've got to show you, and that's all I've got to talk about today. I'm looking at this book because I brought it down. Remember, I want to knit something else out of this. Can you remember, I know Tilly Trout, not Tilly Trotter. Tilly, you and I don't know who else, knit a pair of socks from this last year. And there's so many fun, I think this is the socks I knit. They're like, I just want to call them circus socks. And I wear them all the time when I'm sitting on bed. They're more like bed socks, obviously. And I can't remember which one you made, Tilly. I know it's in here. But they've got some super fun items. And I like, for instance, these mittens or fingerless mittens. And I would just use the acrylic I've got, probably. The worsted acrylic. And so I felt like finding something in here and knitting it. Because it's worsted, again, it was another quick knit. Not so much a hat. There's some hats, look. But either more fun socks or fingerless mitts or something. But I don't know when, but it was there and I hadn't mentioned it. So it kept catching my eye, and I thought I'd show you it before I finished. So now I am finished. I want to wish you all a fabulous week, and hopefully this is the start of my regular weekly podcast again. And coming up in March, I will have been podcasting for 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. So maybe we'll have a little bit of a party or celebration then, I don't know. But I want to wish you all a fabulous week, and I hope you've enjoyed coming back and sitting down with me. Next week, when I record, I will hopefully be upstairs and I'll be able to get a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and sit down like we used to and chat over a cuppa. So until then, I hope you do come back whenever it is I record and join me in the knitting den. Bye guys.